Good morning. There's just been a beautiful moment for me. I just did a meditation and this beautiful legacy story came to my heart. And I'm thinking there's a reason today that this moment, this memory, this story came to my heart. And for all of my family, I am going to put my disclaimer on it. I wasn't there. So the story that I share is how I heard it, my impressions, and how it was carried through me as I tell it today. But one piece of this story is my memory because I was there. But I'm going to go back to a story that all of my life I heard, and I didn't hear it from the time that the story occurred during the Depression, but I had heard it as a story, as a part of a legacy of how a family moved through such a time. And I'm walking today on this journey, and so are you, in a pandemic, in a lot of angst and isolation and just a lot of uncertainty, and we're not sure if we're doing it right, how we're supposed to get through it, right? And I see you, and I see all these mamas and daddies and kids, and people are worried about how this is going to come about and how are our kids going to be. And I want to tell you this story because this story is exactly our story in our time, and someday maybe it's going to be one of our grandkids that tells their grandpa or grandma's legacy story of a time such as this, when we need to have encouragement to move forward. Yesterday was a hard day for me. I don't know why, but I was having a hard time putting one foot in front of the other. And it's kind of what's been eating at me in my mind, I guess. And so this story, I needed to hear it and I needed to see it in my mind. But it's a story that I heard growing up about a lamp. And it was a lamp that my grandfather made the year my dad was born, 1930s. I don't even remember the year, but during the Depression. I'm not going to get caught on the numbers because that'll just mess with my thought. But my grandpa, there was a lot of children. I don't remember how many kids, but eventually my grandpa raised 16 kids. So there was a lot of children. And it was a depression and not knowing how he was going to feed his family. And he had an inspiration, and he had a lot of wood. And my grandfather, he was a builder, he was a creator, and he made this lamp. And this lamp was really unique because the lamp was made of multiple different types of wood. It was made with many different colors, stained wood, and it was a very unique piece. And my grandfather sold lottery tickets or raffle tickets to people at church in the community to generate income to feed his family in a time that was really hard. It wasn't food. He had a family, he had a burden, he was worried, right? Maybe he was out of work. He made this lamp, and I don't remember the dollar, but he made, I think it was like $300, something. And I remember the scandal because it wasn't okay to raffle the church. And so there's scandal or story behind it besides, and I don't know all the details, but the stories would always just be told about but the lamp that Grandpa made, the lamp he made with love. And now I'm going to go to my part of the story. And it was a day that I was sitting with my grandpa, and the lamp's in his living room. Yeah. And he was telling how he got the lamp back from the lady that was a niece of the people that bought the lamp with the raffle tickets. And he said, he was telling her the story about I made that. And he told her the story of why he made that. And he said, I'd really like to buy that lamp from you. And the woman told my grandpa, you have much more legacy and attachment to this lamp. It's a beautiful lamp, don't get me wrong, but if you replace that lamp in my home, and so he went to the store and he bought a new lamp for this lady, and he brought his lamp home. And that lamp sat so proudly in my grandpa and grandma's living room. And as I was having my meditation this morning, I'm seeing my grandpa and grandma sitting in their recliners with a table that had a picture of the farm that my grandpa made, and a lamp and a grandfather clock and all these beautiful gifts that my grandpa made, the treasures that he made in his home. And I could see their smiles, and I could see my grandpa telling the stories of these beautiful treasures that he made. And he wasn't remembering with sorrow, and he wasn't remembering out of grief or pain, but he was remembering out of triumph, out of how they persevered and how they had the grit and the resilience to push through a really difficult time in their life. And I hang on to that. I can smell my grandma's home. I could smell the baking. I could see the joy. And it touched my heart to be able to, for one moment today, to hear that in my heart, and to know that we are in a time such as this right now, that we are going to be telling a story one day of how we walked through a pandemic, how we homeschooled online and worked from home, and how we managed to do all these things, and how we shined, and how we made a better world for our families. And we're going to look back, and we're going to look at how we persevered through the challenges, you guys. We are creating that legacy right now, right here where we are, each of us. We are bringing our gift in this moment, in this season. We are bringing our gifts to each other. We're encouraging, we're lifting, we're empowering, we're showing support and encouragement, and we're seeing others who are contending right now. And we have an opportunity in this time, in this season, to look within and look at how can my one life create an impact and a legacy that's going to go well beyond today's story, but that maybe one day your granddaughter will be telling a story of how you persevered through a time. And that, because of that, I have so much hope in you, and I have faith in you, that we have what it takes to get through this time. We were put here in this time We all landed here in this time. It's our time. It's our time to shine, to show up, to adapt, to bring about change, to bring the smiles to our face, because we have to. We must. We must bring that to our families, because that is our legacy. You have it within you. There is something you're going to look back at today and go, I don't know how we did it, but we did it. And you're going to remember it, and it's not going to be with sorrow or grief or pain, but it's going to be with how I did it, what I did. Something you did is going to make a difference in someone else's life today. Carry on. You got this. Have a great day.